All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Heck, Goose, the man of the hour, Mike Kirchhoefer. Homegrown. In this episode, we have special guest, Mike Kirchhoefer. We cover topics that range from marketing, creativity, entrepreneurship, fashion, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Helen Keller and Maya Angelou. All right, guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, Mike, owner of Homegrown, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we're here again at 105 Market Street, Bristol, PA, Miguel's Riverside Barbershop. Download the app. And Mike, so for those of us who do not know who you are and what you do, let us know.
My name is Mike Kirchhoefer. Most people know me as Kirch. And I would say the best word to describe me is what I tag most of the time as Renaissance man.
Yes, sir.
I do a little bit of everything. Yeah. And, you know, art, woodworking, fashion, and just, you know, positive vibes all day.
I love it.
Nice.
So explain the Renaissance man thing. How did that come about? I really like that. I'm digging it.
I forget where I heard it first, but, you know, it basically means like a man of many different things, you know, dabbles in a bunch of different stuff. And, you know, from the things that I do, it just kind of fit.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you get started in the fashion industry? Is that something you were always into growing up? And how did you make it your own? Yeah,
actually, it was something I've always been into. I mean, these guys remember back in the day, I was like taping out and putting holes in jeans years before you could buy them that way. You know what I mean?
Right, for sure.
So I've always been into it, and you know, I stopped doing that kind of stuff for a while, and then it just was like a resurgence over the past few years. Yeah, and you know, digging it.
Love it. So what made you want to start the Homegrown business?
Well, I owned another business a while back, a custom auto body shop years ago, and you know, people always ask me, "You gonna start another business?" And at the time, you know, I just got married and just kind of got my life back together from like some dark places, and I always wanted to do something on my own again, but wasn't quite sure what. And you know, I had a regular 9-to-5 job. And, you know, I had to have them health benefits. And finally, I got myself in a position where I was able to take that jump and try to do the damn thing.
Yeah, I hear you. So explain Homegrown. What do you guys sell? What's it about?
Well, Homegrown is a lifestyle brand. And I'm selling CBD oil, clothes, commissioned woodwork pieces, you know, a bunch of different stuff. And anything else I could think of that pops up, you know, that fits the bill.
Right. So explain the word homegrown and what's it mean to you?
Homegrown basically came to me because I was actually, I originally was going to do just a strictly woodworking business with a couple friends of mine. And as soon as I got out of the house and I was down at this shop, you know, all hours of the night, my wife was going nuts. And I was like, this is not going to work. So I was like, I got to come up with something that I can do from the house and make it work like that, at least in the beginning. And then, of course, you know, I'm going to grow it from home, homegrown, you know. So
I like
that's where it came from.
I like that.
That's awesome.
All right, so explain a little bit about your design. I know there's a like double meaning things going on. You got the triangle, the tree. Right. You got some.
This took me I probably spent like almost a whole year just playing around with it, trying to get it right. I do all my designs myself. I mean, a friend of mine, Mo, down at Sign Art on Haynes Road. He helps me with it on the computer side of it, but I do all the design work with him, and you know, he takes my ideas and puts it on the screen basically.
Nice.
And this basically came to me. The tree has many meanings. You know, I mean, that's where we get our life from. The oxygen from the tree with the woodworking. Tree from other reasons, you know, and then the triangle, I actually spun it up. Originally I had it the other way, and I spun it upside down, and I kind of like most businesses and organizations are like that pyramid type of scheme where the guy at the top gets all the food and all the cheddar, and everybody down at the bottom is just the workers. Well, I try to flip the script and have everybody at the top, you know, and have those guys that are thinking like that down at the bottom, you know. And then the flower of life in the background, that's basically like the blueprint of creation for everything in the universe.
Right. I like it. Awesome. I like it. Awesome. So how did you get into that stuff where, you know, you're looking at patterns, you're looking at probably geographical, you know, places on Earth that, you know, are what they call like the wonders of the world, and trying to figure out how this all works?
Yeah, I've gotten pretty deep over the past few years, and it really started kind of started. Me and my wife, we lost a baby probably like I think 4 years ago now, something close to that. And she was born and passed like an hour after she was born.
Wow. Oh, man.
And it was pretty crazy. And I went through all different types of religion. I started studying many different religions all day long. And then once I got this job, it allowed me to, I was, proficient at my job enough to where I would actually listen to podcasts and do research like 8 hours a day the whole time I was at work.
For
so
sure.
it's like thousands of hours worth of knowledge I've been sucking in for like the past 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And it's just been like a lot of spiritual growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, how did the pyramids get there? No, I'm
aliens did it.
This is ancient alien talk right now. There's patterns, as above, so below. I dive into that stuff too.
Yeah, I love it.
It can get, you can get lost in the sauce with some of that stuff, but there's definitely something there for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Is that, like, I want to talk a little bit about your creative process, right? So, you do a lot of different kind of projects. Here you have a piece of furniture that you built for my brother's barbershop where he has like his register at, he has a couple business cards, and he does his thing with that. Right. Is that how your creative process starts? Or are you kind of bouncing ideas off, someone else, or is it different when you're doing a piece?
Yeah, well, with a piece like that, I just kind of get a gist of like what the customer or the person wants. Yeah. And then I usually just take it from there. I usually love to have like creative freedom with it. And I know if I have that, I'm going to put 110% into it. So it usually comes out better than people expect just because I'm putting like my heart and soul into it. Yeah. And my creative process, I don't know. I was listening to one of your podcasts the other day, and it fit exactly like an idea generator. Like my brain does not shut off. Ever. Like I have my notepad next to my bed, and like in the middle of the night, I'm like, and I get up and I write it down.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, every day, it's crazy.
Absolutely. And so what about like for your lifestyle brand, and you're thinking of maybe expanding something like you said that fits the mold. What does that look like? Are you constantly doing research and looking for things to grow, or you're kind of vibing off of what you got going on and building off of that, or both? Yeah,
just I don't know. Ideas just pop into my head, but I'm always looking for trends and stuff like that. Sure. Stay in the lane. Yeah. But most of the time, I'm usually on trend even before I see it. Like the first hoodie I came out with, the tie-dye hoodie. Yeah. And I feel like as soon as I dropped it, like the next day, I started seeing every company drop a tie-dye stuff. I'm sure that happened before me, but for some reason, I always saw it at that point. But it's pretty crazy. It works out good like that.
Yeah. So explain the whole tie-dye thing. Right now, you have kind of like a military pattern, the camo thing going. Is there meaning also with that stuff, or you kind of just?
No, not specifically. It's just trends that I like, styles that I like. Camo, you can't go wrong with that. Sure. And the tie-dye is great too. I love the tie-dye. Yeah. You can really match it with anything. Don't matter what color you got on. Your kicks are gonna rock with it.
Hell yeah. All right, so do you have like a website? Do people go and visit that, or do you just have like something on social media that you tell people?
Well, right now I've been just working specifically off of Instagram and Facebook, but I do have a website. It's just not finished yet. Okay. It is difficult because this is like a one-man show at this point. Right. Like, trying to do every single angle, it's hard to take my mind off of like creative stuff and like stick it into building a website. Right. Yeah. Even as easy as they make it these days with like Shopify, it's still like I can't get it done.
Right. Your ideal website, what would they expect to find?
Just a lot of information that they're not like up on as far as like spirituality and positive stuff, and some health and wellness type of stuff. Like CBD. Most people, as popular as it is now, there's still tons of people that have no idea the benefits of like CBD oil. For sure. And so information like that, and of course cool pictures and videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Can you elaborate on when we going back to fashion? And I know you said you feel like you're on the cusp of trends anyway, or maybe a little bit ahead of them. In fashion, it almost seems like sometimes we go backwards. Right. Even like with haircuts and all that stuff, it's almost like we're going the other way. is that a direction you kind of foresee that we're going to bring back some, stuff from the 50s or whatever?
Some Jenko jeans are on their way back. Yo, you heard it here first. Please don't ever.
I honestly never thought. I remember like how deep we got in the 2000s with the huge baggy shorts.
Oh, man.
I never thought I would see what we see today. Literally, like years later, now you see he's like the super. People always take it to a whole other level.
I was like a straight Power Ranger back in the day. Like green hat, green shirt, green shorts, green shoes, like green socks. Whatever color it was from head to toe.
Now I know with me, same thing with me, the one man show. What's the most difficult part of having your own business?
I think just people don't realize, like most people that, working a 9 to 5, nothing wrong with that, but they think it's like super sweet. You do whatever you want, whenever you want, but you don't get to clock out and then be done with it for the day. Like you literally, it's 24/7. And most people don't realize that. Yeah, it is sweet. Like I get to spend time with my son every day and that's priceless. You know what I mean? So that is the best benefit of it all, but it's a lot of work, man.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
pressure. Especially when it's your face on it and you want it to represent you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have like this pressure to quote perform, right? So now it's like, all right, so you're doing your thing. What's the product? What are you putting out? And as you said, dude, my name's stamped on this. I'm not going to just put whatever out.
Yeah. Especially in my position, because it took me quite a while to get my name, back with some clout owner or people looking at me in a positive light. Because, like I mentioned before, there was a decent amount of years where, it was not.
Yeah. And what do you attribute that to? Just diving into, like you said, just resources and information, just trying to get your
mostly
mind back?
that. And number one is my wife, man. She literally saved my life.
Yeah.
Even when I first met her, I was still, messed up. And I OD'd once when I was with her, and she just laid it down. Like, you're either going to get your stuff together or, we're done. I can't do this.
Wow.
And that's kind of took it from there, which was crazy because there had been multiple other times, where I'd gotten out of jail and, cold turkey and came out like, I'm never going to do this again. And, within days or sometimes within hours, it was like back at it.
Yeah. So then you collaborated that with, that tough talk you and your wife had with the education. Then you just started, just walking that walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's not easy, man. And the thing is like, where do I start? Yeah. And then sometimes you feel like you're behind the ball, and then you're like, holy crap, I feel like I got to catch up. Right. I'll never forget, there was one time I went to Barnes & Noble. I think it was Barnes & Noble. What's the Borders, the spot they closed down? Yeah. And this is a true story. So I walked in, and I wanted to change the financial picture of my family. We weren't 100% like educated on how to handle your finances, and this is what you do, this is how you invest. We didn't know. We're just trying to survive. You know what I mean? So I remember walking up, and this just has to do with like how much information there is. I walk up to a finance section, and it was like 3 stories high, probably over 1,000 books, and like 2 lanes, deep. And I remember just standing there, and I got like watery eyed because I'm like, dude, it was so overwhelming. Wow. And I'm like, where do I start, dude? Like I'm trying, like you make the decision you want to be better.
Right.
And it's like, where do I start? I had no guidance. I had no nothing. I'm like, damn. And all I did was just pick up a book. I'm like, this may or may not be the right book, but I got to start somewhere. Exactly. I can't sit here and like, be that overwhelmed. I mean, I remember that. It was priceless. And it was a Robert Kiyosaki book that I did pick up. Nice. But anyway, it's not easy. And the thing is, it's still every day.
Yeah,
it's an everyday fight. Right. It's an everyday fight.
I've definitely gotten to the point now where, not those kind of thoughts don't even cross my mind no more. Going back to like the particular things that I was dabbling with. Yeah. And which is great. I don't have to worry about the people I surround myself with, even though I've been long gone from those type of people anyway. So it's not really even an issue.
Yeah.
But I have been in situations where stuff was next to me and it was like, didn't even faze me, which, that's crazy.
Tough. Yeah. There's a strong, that mental piece there. Is that something you figure you like, educate people on just to get them?
I would like to at some point. You know, I feel like it is a decent accomplishment to come back from some of the stuff I did, but I'm so cynical of myself that I feel like I'm not worthy of talking to people until I like have like something built. That's why I've been like really grinding on this. Yeah. I want to be like, even though it's like, I've come back from that and like that's great, but I want people to be able to see like you can not just come back from that, but you can flourish.
And for sure. Yeah. When I look over to you, there's a lot going on with tattoos and stuff like that. And I mentioned everyone here all has tattoos and stuff like that. But how does that you incorporate that to who you are and who you're becoming and the whole Homegrown brand?
Yeah, well, I've been doing a tattoo thing since I was probably, I think, 15 years old when I started. And I actually just finished up a bunch of laser treatments. I spent like 3 years almost getting laser treatments on big portions of my upper arms just to put new work there. It was just old stuff that I wasn't feeling anymore. Yeah. And I actually, got a Buddha on one and Ganesh on the other one. So,
nice.
Both like things that I'm vibing with these days with like the Buddhism and Hinduism type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because that's one thing we always talk about, people telling us, oh, you got tattoos, da, da, da. But you could probably say that to, a decent amount of people and they're like, yeah, for sure. But when we get something for us is meaningful and is very special and it doesn't tickle. So it's like you're definitely making a decision to get something to really mark yourself up to for a lot of us, it's a reminder. Sometimes we forget. You post a lot of positivity as well. We follow you on Instagram and Facebook. You post a lot of funny stuff too. There's something about the lightheartedness that I'll tell you myself I appreciate, because sometimes, again, going back to the thing, you feel like you got to constantly produce, and you feel like you got to produce a certain thing in a certain way, and people need to educate all the time, and you get all weird. You get weirded out yourself. You're like, dude, who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
I just turned into a scientist or something. I feel like I could only talk about science stuff now, right?
Exactly, right.
Being multifaceted in that sense, is that something that's like fragmented pieces in your mind, or you're like, you just tap into the funny part or tap into the creative part?
I mean, usually it comes pretty natural to me. I try not to take life too seriously, but at the same time, like, be serious in life when I have to be. Yeah. But I don't know. It does come naturally most of the time. And again, who wants to take life that serious? I mean, we're supposed to enjoy this life.
So is there anything you do with social media and promoting what you have with Homegrown? Obviously you use it, but is there anything particular you use it for?
No, I'm actually not that skilled at it yet. I'm learning as I go, and I'm just posting my stuff on both of them. I've done a couple promotions on there with like paid advertisement. Nice. And I'm not even sure how that works. I just gave him some money, and hopefully it gets something. You know what I mean? So hopefully it reaches right. I'm not sure. I had to fight with it for a while because I had a CBD hashtag, and right now it's still basically illegal to advertise CBD products on social media, especially like Google and Facebook. So you can't have anything that says CBD or anything like that on the actual picture. And they were giving me a hard time, even though everything I sell is all hemp derived, so there's no THC in it. You can drink the whole bottle, and it's not like you're gonna get high or anything like that. Yeah, for sure. So I went back and forth with them, getting a little aggressive for a minute, and then they put it up. Wow. Yeah, and my friend was like, "How'd you do that? They won't do that. Right. It's illegal still." I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I must have said the right words or something."
That's hilarious. Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I have no idea what's going on with marketing. I'm learning every single day. Right. It's very confusing. Yeah. It's hard because then you're going up against what they call the big boys who have all the money behind them, and they just and they have the right connections. Right. That's what it's about too. So our thing here is we're like, well, we got to figure this out organically. Sure. So I know one of the marketing concepts we always use is having people wear the product, taking pictures with it, post it, tag me, I'll repost it. And I'm like, that so far has worked.
Yes, I agree. I do the same thing.
Exactly. I think we all need to be doing that.
Right. Another thing I don't think a lot of people realize is to get your brand out there at all, you got to give a lot of stuff away. Yes. I think I even heard you say that in one of the podcasts too. Yes. And like the first box of shirts I got, I gave every single one away.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I thought it was funny as hell. I was so naive. I did the same where I was like, I'm going to order 100 shirts. Yo, can you imagine if I sold 100 shirts at this price, price? Man, I broke that whole thing down. That thing went to straight trash. I gave away that whole box. Exactly. It was straight trash. That was the worst plan ever. Right. But I learned from it.
But that is how you level up too. Like that, these guys that you see their stuff on celebrities and stuff like that. Like if you think about it, let's say you wanted to get your shirt on a celebrity. Not only would you have to send him a shirt, but you'd probably have to send him like 10 shirts in like 4 different sizes because 2 of his homies are gonna grab one. You know what I mean? Right. Hit the one's not gonna fit him right. You got to find just the perfect one for him to rock it on a picture or something. For the gram. So, That's funny. Yeah, you got to be ready to throw away some ducats. You know?
Yeah, it's serious stuff. I mean, even like little things that I try to create like a smaller product. So one of the ideas that I had is we had like a vending table out here at Bristol Day, and I'm like, I need to get a small product to give away to kind of draw people into my table, and then I'll sell them a higher priced item.
Right.
Man, and at first I was shy, like gun shy, so I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just charge for it, man, $2 or something like that. That'll get them. Man, I dang near got robbed, man. They're just taking it, and I'm like, all right, never mind. I guess that's not what we're doing today.
They're like, yo, these coasters, you're charging for these? Come on.
Yeah, remember the bands? As little kids, like, you buy this? It made me feel stupid as hell. I'm like, nah, that's all yours, man. I'm giving them away today.
Today only.
No, but it did work though, because then like his mom came over and then bought
what's
like,
that?
T-shirts.
The racial bands? Oh yeah, they're decent.
Yeah. So I got to come up with something else and a different product, because the lettering kind of goes away after a while.
Right.
But it was something a little bit different than what we traditionally see. But yeah, those are the things I was trying to give. Well, I was trying to sell them at first, and I had no choice. But apparently, I just had to give them away.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be creative.
Yeah,
you got to be creative. You got to do some funny, goofy stuff. There were some things, like I said, that did not work. I made some stupid choices in a sense that I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
But you don't know. Like I said, I didn't have like a marketing agent, that I can call. Like, what do you think about this idea?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They're just like, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my own. I think like a month ago I made these. They were cool, but nobody wanted one. I made like walking sticks out of driftwood. They're dope, but everybody's like, yeah, I can walk. It's cool.
Yeah. So we talked about being a business owner. What's the hardest part? What about being an entrepreneur, right? So you market yourself as one thing, but actually doing the business, like the transactions and things like that. Can you speak a little bit about that, being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, you want people to be happy when they see. You want people to leave the transaction with a good feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if I'm having a bad day right before that, you got to know how to turn that off and be the businessman when it's time. People don't want to hear your problems when they're coming to buy a product or something like that. For sure.
Yeah, and I think it's important too that you're a representation of your brand, regardless of where you're found, right?
Yeah.
There was one time, I never forget, I was buying bins for that table sale that I was doing the night before. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm at a big box store buying all these bins basically to put the shirts in. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I walk up, I had everything that in my mind that I was supposed to have, right? I had the blessed hat, I had the blessed shirt. And I walk up and I'm buying bins. They're like, oh, you got something going on? You moving? I'm like, no, I'm selling my shirts. Blah, blah, blah. You got a business card? Nope.
Right.
And I like fumbled. I had business cards that just physically were not on me, right? And it was one of those things. I'm like, dang, dude, I got to stack up on business cards again.
I hear you. I still haven't gotten business cards yet.
And we are in a different era, but this was an older person, and that was there. That's what I mean. Is like if I'm trying to have everybody,
you gotta have them.
Yeah.
This just happened to me the other day. I was going to do an estimate for a guy at Yardley Pizza. I'm making a new sign for his pizza shop, and four different people asked me for a business card in there. Yeah. Every course I had to tell him, nah, I don't got one. And the one dude was like, it'd be cool if you did. That's what he said to me. I was like, oh man.
Make you feel bad.
Yeah, I was like, man.
You got to come out with the little triangle, Jones. You got to do something a little bit different.
I
know what I mean?
I thought about that, but what do you think about putting that in your pocket?
I know.
Is that going to be a problem in the pocket?
You?
Could be. Yeah. Could be.
Or just get all banged up.
Yeah. Mine are like square, and I realized I've got them. Same thing. Like, trying to do something different, and they just fit goofy in your wallet.
They have crazy ones, clear ones. I mean, you got some hard plastic ones, but you're spending a grip on that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
The most creative one I saw was one was like it looked like a size of a credit card, but it was a bottle opener, and they had their thing on there, so that was actually pretty dope. And they handed it was metal too, and they handed it out. And I was like, that's real.
We still use that.
We still use it. I have it.
Dolce Vita Media.
It's cool. Yeah,
that's real cool.
It was classic.
Yeah, people are gonna hold on to that for good.
Forever. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, just doing the whole like T-shirt thing. How did you start with your first one? What did that look like? Did you go out and buy T-shirt making machines and doing all that stuff? Or?
Not yet. That's goals, you know what I mean? But,
for sure.
Basically, probably like you did, I started out with the basic black with the white logo. Yeah. Everybody wants that one. Yeah, it's a classic, exactly. So that's what I did, and I had bought shirts before when I had my old company, and my buddy Mo that helps me with my design work.
Yeah.
He has a lot of t-shirt jobs coming through there, so I already had like some of the connections for wholesale accounts and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I set up my own accounts
Nice.
and started getting stuff that way.
Okay.
And t-shirts are the easiest way to go, but I plan on moving into a full line of button downs.
Nice.
Bottoms, hats, jackets.
Nice.
I already started with some nylon Coach jackets, but
nice.
It's never going to end.
Yeah.
And I like what I'm probably going to do. What definitely going to do is it's not going to always be the same stuff out. Like, just for instance, I came across a rack of real dope tie-dye tank tops. They were on clearance. Ripped up all of them. Yeah. And those are going to be limited. When they're gone, they're gone. I can't get more.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do a lot of stuff like that. If I find some dope piece hidden somewhere, grab what I can, and and they're super limited type of thing.
Absolutely. What was it like to see your logo on that first tee?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
It's everything.
Yeah, it was everything. And another funny thing, my buddy Chris Ward, shout out to Chris up at Bailey's. He hit me up the one night because he's been rocking with me too.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, there's like 4 or 5 people in here with your hoodie on.
Nice.
I was like, oh, shit. I was like, that's what's up. I was like, who is it? He's like, I'm not even sure who they are. I was like, oh, man. Awesome. I was like, this is moving. I was like, this is cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's the thing. You got to, what they call a trunk push in the beginning for sure. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I was telling the guys, you got an order. I'm like, all right, I'll meet you at this spot. And it was like, dude, there got to be an easier way. And then what I quickly found out, I was like, no, this is literally what you do in the beginning. Like they don't know, people don't care. It's not that they don't care. They just don't know who you are. And you have to make them understand.
Right. And everybody else has their own life going on. Like to try to stick your story in there and make it work, it's got to make a statement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how you can be relatable to them.
Right.
How does Homegrown work for them?
Right.
As the individual. That still goes back to the marketing thing where I didn't have a business card, and this person was probably in their 70s, and maybe they had Facebook, but I don't know if I was just ignorant to mine. I'm thinking everyone has a Facebook and an Instagram. I'm like, yo, you could, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, yeah, you definitely don't even. You have a flip phone. This is not happening right now. Is there any other businesses that you collaborate with in producing things? Like you have your buddy Mo, but is there anybody else you use? Because I know you have different kinds of products. Like you do all like the woodworking and stuff.
Yeah. If I'm not doing the woodworking pieces by myself, I work with a good friend of mine, Dennis Walker at DW Woodworking. I think it's called. Yeah. I've been working with him for a while now.
Nice.
And we collaborate to get some pieces done. He's got a full wood shop set up, so
nice.
It's been a blessing.
How did you get started in the woodworking? I always think that's so neat. I always, it was like a 5th grade project, and they told us all to bring in a bar of soap so we can carve out of this soap. And I remember it ever since. You remember that?
Wow. Yeah, I didn't get to do that.
Yeah, and so we did it, and I remember being mad because the soap I bought was like the yellow. Remember that yellow dial?
Classic
like
golden dial.
Cheap, like 50-cent bar from like Rite Aid up the street.
And they definitely told you to use ivory soap because ivory soap chisels easier. Like
so all my friends had ivory. That's the reason why I remember so well. But I always I became fascinated. So I remember my mom bought me like one of those little woodworking kits where you, I don't know, maybe you can describe, but you could burn the wood with like this little machine. Or
with like a pan, a wood burning pan? Yeah, they're great. I got one of those now.
Nice.
Yeah, they're sweet.
And I just I think I might have like butchered something or went right through like the carpet, or I know I messed something up where I got yelled at, and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this. But I always wanted to go back to it.
Yeah, I think I got it from my dad actually. He taught me so many things, and I used to call him MacGyver when I was a kid because he could literally turn nothing into something. No matter what the problem was, he could fix it with like a paper clip and a piece of gum.
That's cool, but is there any projects that you're looking forward to with the woodworking stuff, or is it all kind of commission based? Do you sell like just certain items?
I actually do have some stuff that I've had made for a while that I haven't even put out yet. Just like I got a stack of cutting boards that I made.
Nice.
I'll be putting out some stuff like that.
Okay.
Multiple people can grab the same item type of thing.
Okay.
But most of it's commission pieces. Like I'm working on a couple new pieces for your brother actually, and I think I have like 4 other things in line right now too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is this something where you got like the what's that thing called, the I want to say stamper, what is that called with the
the Brandon iron?
Brandon,
yeah, I do have one of those. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's great. They actually have two different options. You can get the electric one that plugs in and it heats up by itself, or the one I got, which was a cheaper version. You know, you would stick underneath the torch for a while.
Yeah.
But it's my funny. My boy Dennis has one too, and his is like 1/8 of an inch thick, and mine's like an inch thick. So it takes like 10 times as long to heat up. You didn't think of that. Stamping all over the place. I'm like, I'll be there in a little while. I ain't heating up. But even that takes some practice to like get down. You got to get it perfectly even all the way across. It's not easy actually.
So what's your favorite? I know there's different kinds of materials. What's your favorite to work with? Is there specific like wood, or is there?
Yeah, well, the live edge wood is what's really popping right now. Okay. Everybody's on that, which is basically like unfinished edges. You know, sometimes they'll have the bark on there. I'm sure you've seen it before. Live edge tables.
Yeah.
And that's actually what we're gonna put on Goose's desk up here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Now, the only creative thing I've mostly done with any level of wood, I mean, outside of helping my dad doing construction stuff, would be what the hell they call pallets. Have you ever done any work with pallets? I know that was like popular like 5 years ago, and people were doing like crazy stuff with it.
They're still making amazing stuff with pallets. Yeah, the piece I actually just made a piece. A couple of it was with pallet wood, but the other part was with an old crate. That's basically like same as pallet wood.
Okay.
That wood, I don't know what kind of wood they use on that. I mean, I know it's oak, and pressure treated, but that's the hardest wood you ever come across. It's so crazy how hard that wood is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you think they were like packing or like carrying like thousands and thousands of pounds on it? So
Yeah,
there got to be some level of durability.
And they last forever. Like I made my entire raised garden out of pallet wood.
Yeah. That's awesome. Forever. So what do you plant?
I got, I think, like 6 different tomato plants, different species of tomato, a bunch of cucumbers, squash, zucchini, strawberries.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Last year I had way too many different things, and they all started like strangling each other out and stuff.
So you built the bed yourself?
Yeah, I built the whole thing.
So it's off the ground like 2 or 3 feet?
Yeah, it's actually about like probably 4 or 5 feet.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's pretty crazy, and it's big too. You can like walk in the center of it and go left and right to like reach the whole entire thing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And it's been good that way, because the best part about raised garden beds is, you know, your animals and stuff don't get in there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I got my little owl guarding the spot all day, so I haven't had no problems with rodents or anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that happened to my uncle. He planted a bunch of tomatoes. As soon as they started getting, at that, good spot, I don't know if it was squirrels or something got to it for sure.
The only thing I'll get that hits mine is like bugs and stuff. Which,
I
mean, the only way around that is like spraying pesticides, and I'm not going that route.
Right.
Kind of like defeats the whole purpose.
So is that something you look to expand? Is that a piece you do for people too?
No, I actually not yet, but it's actually something I thought about. A friend of mine, shout out to Ray Tynes, he actually just brought that to me, and it's like, oh, we should give people their own plant. And I was like, damn, that's a dope idea.
Yeah.
Gotta still like figure out the details and stuff, how that works out, but I think it'd be something really cool.
For sure. Yeah, man, you should get something where it's like signature you. They're like, yo, you get, you're selling seeds and stuff. Like, yeah, you get this, you buy this, it comes with,
I'm actually waiting for some seeds to come in the mail right now for a ice cream banana tree.
What?
Have you ever heard of it?
Nah.
They're blue bananas, and they taste like vanilla ice cream.
Oh, wow.
What?
And they say they grow in any conditions. So I'm going to plant them in my backyard and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on. Now you just said something that reminded me of. So you do your creative process, and now you just said a blue banana. You just did your whole like front yard and like blue mulch.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right?
So first of all I've ever heard before is like blue balls, but you're talking about blue bananas too.
Oh man.
So explain how the heck did a whole blue mulch? I mean, it looks cool as hell. It's different, totally different.
Yeah,
how did you come up with that idea?
I don't know. It just popped in my head, man. I wanted to try to do something different. Every year I got to buy the mulch over and over again, and I started thinking of ways around that, and that's actually rubber mulch, like the stuff they use in playgrounds. And I'll never have to buy mulch again, basically.
Right.
It was definitely a lot more expensive than the other stuff, but again, the crazy color, I think they got like red, green, they got a few other colors too, but the blue really pops. And I figured, let's give it a try. Yeah,
that'd be dope.
Definitely look cool sitting out front.
Especially with
it
blue
came
bananas
out
out there.
Right.
Yo.
I got 200 seeds coming if you want to plant a tree.
Wow, 200 seeds. Where the heck? How did you even find that?
I think I seen it on social media or something. Somebody had posted it, and I was
see
like,
that though.
yeah, somebody else had posted it, I think, on Instagram or Facebook. And I was like, is this for real? And I did my own research, and I was like, well, I don't want to eat like some crazy GMO thing that they bread like that. And it's like a natural like breeding selection where they just keep crossbreeding plants until they get that. Just like the cotton. Have you ever had the cotton candy grapes?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Dude, they're amazing too, and they're not GMO either. That's like a natural occurring thing just from crossbreeding the same plant.
It's fine. I just had those like 2 weeks ago. This lady comes
so
up, she's like, "Heck, try the cotton candy grapes." I'm like, "The heck, we dip it in cotton candy?" She's like, "No, that's how it's grown." And I'm like, "What the dude?" There's a flavor to it.
It's so strong, like cotton candy. You would swear like there's some kind of chemical, right? You would have it would have to be, but it's not. It's crazy.
That's awesome. So
and they're like 3 times the amount of regular grapes. And
they are.
So talk about a little bit how you manage, the business end versus the home end. So how do you do the whole work life experience?
Well, like I said, it's been a blessing right now. I'm actually, when I started, envisioning this homegrown company, I was still at my 9 to 5. I was a machinist, working a lathe in a Bridgeport every day. Yeah. And I actually had gotten hurt, and I was out on short-term disability. Okay. And then I came to the point where it was like I was supposed to be going back to work. And came to that point, it was like, and really what held me back before was benefits. You gotta have the health benefits. Right. My wife had actually just leveled up at her job and got full family benefits. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do it, this might be the time. What I mean? Right. I went from the short-term disability to the unemployment, and I was like, I could rock with this little bubble for a little bit. And the only way to really go 100% is to go 100%. You got to take the jump.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no turning back now, basically.
Right, exactly. There's an awesome speech. Everyone go check it out. It's by Steve Harvey, and it's called Jump, literally. And so it's in between the sets of like one of his shows. And apparently he does this after every show or in between all his shows where he kind of gives like this little motivational talk to the crowd or whatever. I like that. It's like giving people more than what they paid for. You
Absolutely.
Know what I mean?
It's
that
awesome.
over delivery and this little speech. It's easy to find on YouTube or whatever on the internet somewhere. Look it up. It's titled Jump or The Jump by Steve Harvey. That thing's Goose sent it to me and I'm like, wow,
it's a great speech.
Deep stuff. All right, so I know we're in collaboration now. We're in the talks with the Blessed Lifestyle brand, the Homegrown Lifestyle brand.
Yes, sir.
So explain a little bit about how that came about. Obviously, I know, but we're amongst the people who don't.
I just thought it was going to be a great idea. Since I started following your social media, I've been like, following it every single day, watching it all, catching up from the past episodes and stuff. And I was like, dude, it only made sense, man, to do a collaboration. And what's really crazy was, I came to you with the idea.
Yeah, for sure.
And I probably have like a dozen designs for shirts in my bag, what I mean, for coming up. Yeah. And one of them, we're going to put it out now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And one of them is, it was going to be a shirt, too blessed to be stressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it only makes sense to put the BL3 SSMD in there, right? I mean, and we already had the design laid out. Like we got the shirts in the trunk. They'll be dropping next week.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So we're super excited about that. He said it. I'm like, that's a win-win. That's a win-win
definitely.
right off the bat.
Definitely.
You got 2 brands that are popping right now. They're going off. This is the time to do it.
Yeah,
Leverage
local,
each other.
man. Exactly.
It's local. The other thing is, it's like, I feel like we're doing something different where a lot of times people are like, no.
Competition.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is the reason why our businesses will grow.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're open to ideas, generating new things, something different, something I never really did before in this particular sense. So I think it's going to be dope. The design, that we put together is pretty on point.
Yeah.
And it's simple, right? I feel like you get too crazy with stuff and you're like, you're lost in the sauce, like they say. It's like, what is going on here?
It's super clean.
Yeah. And I'm all about, and these guys know we preach about it every single week. I'm all about branding. Right. So if the brand's not there, it just doesn't make sense. Early stages, right? So if you're a Nike Nike literally has stuff now, you don't even see a mark. My sneakers right now don't even have a Nike check on them. Oh, wow. And he even asked me, he's like, "Oh, are they Skechers? What is going on?" Oh man, that's too funny. But anyway, so reach out to either myself or Mike to get that. They're exclusive. So at this point, we're going to do a limited number. and see where that goes, and then maybe in the future, or hopefully in the future, do a different collab, just in a different way. So I mean, I look forward to things like this. Again, it goes back to building each other up instead of knocking each other down. I think it's different. There's a lot of competition. Goose, you could talk about competition all day. You drive up and down. Not even real establishments. There's people, out there cutting hair in their garages and basements and things like that. Yeah. There's competition everywhere. But, one of the things he did that was really cool was he had a little social here, and it was all the barbers from all over the place, from New York to Delaware, Connecticut. It was mobbed in here. And you would think that's everyone's kind of competition in some sense. And everyone left here was all love.
Right.
Everyone left here rejuvenated.
Right.
They're pumped up. They went home. They probably created brands off that. Somebody probably started a new business, a new barbershop off that. You don't know what that that thing gives me chills. Yeah. You don't know what that created. I
remember seeing that video.
Love that was amazing. Instead of knocking each other down.
Right, man.
Or hate.
When you realize, the key to life is living in a state of love. Yeah. Dude, changes quick.
For sure.
Real quick.
Yeah. For sure.
And it took me a while to figure that out, man. I've never been a jealous person, but when I got to a point where when everybody I see doing well and I feel good about it, truly feel good about it, not fronting, but actually feel good about it, things just start to happen, man. Karma and all that's real stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what was, share with us one of your biggest lessons thus far with starting the whole business. What was one of the things that always sticks in your head, I'm never doing that again, or that's something that worked, I should do that again?
Yeah, well, one of the problems I had is trying to find, not being specific enough with a printer. I'm on my second printer right now. Yeah. And the first one, just made some silly mistakes, and maybe it was part of my fault, maybe it wasn't, but it was now I realize if I'm not doing it myself, they may not know exactly what I want,
Right.
I don't think most of these places deal with lifestyle brands. They got Joey's softball league coming in and they're ordering 24 shirts, and that's what it is, and I'm bringing 10 different colors and 5 different screens all at one time, and they're getting confused. So I've had a couple issues like that, but it's nothing that I can't work around. You know what I mean?
I like it. All right, so is there anything you want the world to know about the Homegrown brand, or ideally, when someone experiences the Homegrown brand, what do you want them to experience?
Keep it another one of my hashtags. The best is yet to come.
I love it.
Right.
I love it. So if there's a kid out there right now who's, a 15-year-old you and is looking to do exactly what you're doing now, what information would you share with that person?
Well, now is definitely the time. If he's 15, he's ahead of the game. You know what I mean? And the same thing we just talked about. You got to come at it from a place of love, man. Don't be greedy. Let it ride its own wave. Just you got to be patient with a lot of this stuff.
Definitely.
You got to be aggressive at certain points to get your stuff out there, but at the same time, you got to. Everything's got to be with love, man.
Yes.
As kind of corny as that sounds sometimes, it's the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So how can people reach you? How can they, you have any websites you want to drop, any social media handles?
Yeah, absolutely. Both my social medias, or all of them, are homegrown_official. The website is also homegrownofficial.com. Hopefully that will be finished by next week.
For sure.
I was hoping to have it finished by today, but it did not happen.
It's all good. It is all good.
Yeah, that's it.
I love it. All right, so there you have it, folks. We like to wrap up with quotes, and the first one is by Helen Keller. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. The second one is by Maya Angelou. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Homegrown. In this episode, we have special guest Mike Kirchhoefer. We cover topics that range from marketing, creativity, entrepreneurship, fashion, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Helen Keller and Maya Angelou.
Stay blessed.
Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.